rain hammering down, shoes sloshing with water, ankles screaming with pain, and a blurry vision line taunts you at the distance. Your heart is thundering louder than storm. And then, a barefoot stranger, twice your age, overtakes you. What would you do? A very good evening, my dear fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
How many of you have stood at the edge of your dream and were hesitant to take the next step forward? How many of you have pushed through pain to discover the hidden strength inside you? Exactly a month ago, I found the solution for both of these questions by running a 10K marathon. Let me tell you how. The event started at 6 in the morning. I reached the venue at 5:30. The starting point was SJBHS grounds, and as I was doing my pre-warm-up before the race, it started to drizzle. The clock struck 6, and the rain started to pour down heavily. The organizers, they just waved their flag, thinking like it's some kind of pool party. Please carry on. And so the race began. The first 2.5 kilometers. If you have observed these type of runners, these are typically the ones who run with more energy and vigor and excitement for first 2.5 kilometers only. As a natural athlete, you'll be tempted to run along with them, to pace with them. But trust me, it took me 6 different races back in the year 2024 to really understand that the first 2 kilometers should be run at your own pace, taking your own sweet time. So that's exactly what I did. But suddenly, a 10-year-old kid went swoosh beside me. That's when my adrenaline hit. And the inner voice told me, if not now, then when? So I increased my pace and overtook him. Yes, I did take the opportunity to look back at him and give a slight winning grin. As I saw the blurry vision of 5-kilometer mark, I felt relieved, since I was almost halfway there. But this was a point when my ankles started to pain severely, because the water was locked up in my shoes. But I had to embrace the pain and carry on with my run. The final 2.5 kilometers. By now, I was completely gassed up. I could hear my heart beat in every single part of my body. I was completely exhausted. And as I was running along the streets of Vidhan Sabha, the glare from the beams of vehicles obstructed my view. So I removed my glasses. Bad decision. I realized that I'm not half blind, but I'm 95% blind. So I wore back my specs and I continued to run. But as the glare of the countless vehicles hit my eyes, I felt happy for a second because it felt like paparazzi vibes. Everyone taking the phone, watching out of their cars, clicking photos, and me saying hi. But that was just for an instant. It became annoying after that. The last 1 kilometer, by the time I reached the 9 kilometer mark, a white-haired guy, lean physique, probably about mid-40s, went past me. But the peculiar thing about this guy was that he was running barefoot. Although my huge respect went out for him, my inner adrenaline came back for two reasons. One, someone who was twice my age just overtook me, and I wasn't able to digest that fact. Maybe good. And two, he was running barefoot while I had the luxury of running with comfortable Nike shoes. And yet again I told the mantra to myself, if not now, then when? And so I increased my pace. I overtook him. He again overtook me. And in this constant battle, he really pushed past my limits of pain. Finally, I finished the race, but just behind the guy whom I challenged. When I looked at my stopwatch, it said 44 minutes and 58 seconds. I was flabbergasted. I couldn't believe the timing. Because this was my PR, personal record, of running 10K marathon. So my fellow Toastmasters, as I stood there, soaked in rain and sweat at the finish line, I realized something. I realized that life isn't about 10K. It's about a million sprints that happens between the choice of later and now. So it's you who have got to decide with them. So the next time when you're in a fix or a problem situation, remember the 5 golden words. If not now,
When?
thank you. Back to you.